In 1936, 68 years ago, one of the secretaries to the Quorum of the 12 told me what a member of the 12 had told her. She said that in the coming General Conference, there would be announced a program which would become recognized as even more noteworthy than the coming of our people to these valleys as pioneers. Now, parenthetically, you should not tell your secretary what you should keep confidential. And she should not tell anyone else when she's given confidential information. But that was what happened back then. It never happens today. Oh, no. My present able secretary accepted. As you are acquainted with the history know, there was announced at that time the Church Security Plan, the name of which was subsequently changed to the Church Welfare Program. I wondered back in those days how anything the church did could eclipse in anyone's judgment the historic gathering of our people to these western valleys of the United States. That was a movement of such epic proportions that I felt nothing could ever be so noteworthy. But I've discovered something of interest in the last short while. We receive many prominent visitors in the office of the First Presidency. They include heads of state and ambassadors of nations. A few weeks ago, we entertained the mayor of one of the great cities of the world. We have likewise recently entertained the Vice President and the Ambassador of Ecuador, the Ambassador of Lithuania, the Ambassador of Belarus, and others. In our conversations, not one of these visitors mentioned the great pioneer journey of our forebears, but each of them independently spoke in high praise of our welfare program and our humanitarian efforts. And so, as I speak in this great priesthood meeting, I wish tonight to say a few words concerning our efforts in behalf of those in need, be they members of the church or otherwise, in various parts of the world. When the modern welfare program was put in motion, it was designed to take care of the needs of our own people. In the years that have followed, thousands upon thousands have been served. Bishops and Relief Society presidents have had available to them food and clothing and other supplies for those in need. Numberless members of the church have worked in volunteer capacities in producing that which was required. We now operate 113 storehouses, 63 farms, 105 canneries and home storage centers, 18 food processing and distribution plants, as well as many other facilities. Not only have the needs of church members been met, but aid has been extended to countless others. Right here in this Salt Lake City community, many of the hungry are fed daily by non-LDS agencies utilizing LDS welfare supplies. Here in this city and in a number of other places, we operate beautiful stores where there's no cash register, where no money changes hands, where food, clothing, and other necessities are provided to those in distress. I believe that no better milk, no better meat, no better flour is found on any grocery shelf than that which is distributed from the bishop's storehouses. The principles on which these establishments operate are essentially what they were at the beginning. Those in need are expected to do all they can to provide for themselves. Then families are expected to assist in taking care of their less fortunate members. And then the resources of the church are made available. We believe in and take very seriously the words of our Lord repeated by Brother Arnold tonight. Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was an hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. This is the Lord's way in caring for those in need, which he declared, ye have always with you. Those who are able voluntarily work to provide for those who are not able. Last year, there were 563,000 days of donated labor in welfare facilities. That is the equivalent of a man working 8 hours a day for 1,542 years. A recent issue of the Church News carried the story of a group of farmers in a small Idaho community. May I read briefly from that account? It is 6 a.m. in late October, and frost already hangs in the air over the sugar beet fields of Rupert, Idaho. The long arms of the beaters stretch out over 12 rows, slicing the tops off sugar beets. Behind them, the harvesters thrust their steel fingers into the soil and scoop up the beets, pulling them up toward a belt and into a waiting truck. This is the Rupert, Idaho Welfare Farm, and those who are working here today are volunteers. At times, more than 60 machines are working in harmony together, all owned by local farmers. The work goes on through the day. At 7 p.m., the sun is set, leaving the land dark and cold once again. The farmers head home, exhausted and happy. They have finished well another day. They have harvested the Lord's sugar beets. Such remarkable service on a voluntary basis goes on constantly to assure supplies for the storehouses of the Lord. Since the early beginnings of the program, it's moved forward a program caring for the needy, to the encouragement of preparedness on the part of families of the church. No one knows when catastrophe might strike, or sickness, or unemployment, or a disabling accident. Last year, the program helped families store 18 million pounds of basic foods against a possible time of need. Hopefully that time will never come, but the good, wholesome, basic food so stored brings peace of mind and also the satisfaction of obedience to counsel.